All right, so we're gonna watch this. Clearly not your average Yu-Gi-Oh video, but this definitely took my raised an eyebrow. I got divorced over Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay. That's okay.
I need to say this. Let me just say it straight out the way. I am no longer married, and I'm divorced. This is not what this video is about, but that.
What deck do you think she dumped him over? Like, he has to be playing a shifter deck, right?
It's something that you guys need to know. When I met this woman,
guys, stop saying skill issue. This is very serious, okay? This is very serious. I'm pretty happy for him though, because I think it was like good for him, admittedly. So I could be completely wrong, and I sound like a complete asshole right now. But from what I have heard, it was actually good for him. So hopefully it's not too bad. But I can imagine a divorce is never actually good. For Yu-Gi-Oh though, I mean, jeez.
and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. She hated it. She didn't like it. She said that, hey, you could do something better with your life. You should go back to school. So you know what I did back in 2016, 17, 16? I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel.
Thank you, All Rouge.
I sold all my camera stuff. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life.
Oh god, there's so much to like unpack here, but my god. If you have a partner that tells you to do better things with your time in your life, that's generally like fairly positive, depending on the approach and the way it's done. You should probably focus on things that are beneficial to you and help you out and somewhat progress your life, or make your life better. But at the same time, everyone needs to blow off steam, and everyone needs like their hobbies and their enjoyments and the things that make them happy. So it depends like a lot on context here, right? Like if you are, obviously there's going to be a lot of things missing from this, but if you are playing video games and your wife says, quit video games, do something better with your time. Like that's probably, everyone hears that and thinks to themselves, that's a shitty thing to do. But if you are doing that and foregoing your responsibilities and investing time and effort and stuff into your video games, and not dealing with the priorities in life, then that is a very reasonable approach. So, we don't know the full extent and the story and the depth of this, which is obviously probably more of a private matter, but I guess depending on how much he wants to reveal in the video. But it's not like the most horrendously unreasonable thing to advise in a kind and helpful and team-based way, because that's how marriages are, to, improve your life and do things like going back to school and, keeping your finances in check, because let's be real, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very, very expensive. Like, for all we know, his wife saw the price of Fua loss and was like, nah, bro, like, you're out. You know what I'm saying?
Not knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I had something going on. Even though I had some drama and stuff going on before and I shut down my channel a few times, I had something that I...
Yeah, there was like this weird phase where your Yu-Gi-Oh channel was like quitting. I think he quit like 3 times in 1 year. Like, to be fair. I just remember these videos like quitting Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think I saw him make the same video 3 times over the course of a couple of formats. It was it was kind of confusing, but I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big follower, so I don't recall all of the lore, but I'm pretty sure he has quit like 3 times.
I completely gave up. I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what?
It's like me with BA.
Maybe it is time to move on. You got to do something better with your life. There's got to be something more for your life. And I sold all my stuff for a woman. and she's no longer here.
His face when he
And this
said
problem
that.
persists.
For a woman.
She told
What
me at
the
that
hell?
time, hey, you want to meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home. I didn't need to drive anywhere. Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also. How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car.
Play my horn.
But
If you're making money on YouTube doing Yu-Gi-Oh, and if you're able to provide and make and pay the bills, like, I mean, as long as like it isn't like paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I don't know, paycheck to paycheck could be any other job, right? Like, if he's providing and making money and growing and advancing, is that really a bad thing? Like, what did the wife expect here?
when I met this woman,
I feel like, you know, if my partner was making livable money, but doing something they were really passionate about, then I would be supportive of that. She expected a car. Yeah, that's very arbitrary. That's like a very stereotypical, like, type of, what's the word? Trying to be very careful with my words here, because I know that this is going to be quite the culture war type of dynamic and discussion potentially when you discuss this type of stuff. But having these arbitrary requirements like, I need you to get a car. You need to provide for me. I'm not going to work. You have to buy us a house. Like, that's a stereotype of some kind. And that doesn't sound like a healthy relationship or someone you really want to be with, you know?
you have to go back to school. You have to exercise. You have to get your degree. You have to do something better with your life. Even though I explained to her, this is what I chose to do. A woman comes in your life and try to tell you the plan that you chose for your life is wrong. And out of love, I choose to say, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I took a chance. I said, you know what? I'm going to give this up completely. Like, for good. Sold the channel.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Why did you get married in the first place? Like, I don't know. That's a lot of changes. This is, I'm kind of like derailing, and it feels like almost non-Yu-Gi-Oh at this point. But listen, there's, you might know me as the guy who misplays a lot on stream with the children's card game Yu-Gi-Oh, but I have a decent amount of experience when it comes to life, interpersonal relationships, communication, and especially marriage, okay? I know a thing or two about this stuff. I find it very strange and bizarre that you ended up being with someone who had all of these requirements in the first place. My biggest advice to anyone who ever considers looking into marriage and the institution of that forevermore cemented connection and the vow that you take to be with someone forever, my biggest number one advice is do not marry someone for who they can be. Marry someone for who they are. This is the biggest, if you take anything away, life-wise, advice-wise, from me as a person who has experience in this, do not marry someone for who they have the potential to be, but you have to marry them for who they are currently. Yeah, I can fix her. That's not something you want to do, all right? You just have to accept that some people don't change, or some people are okay with the position that they're in, and you shouldn't have expectations for them to change the foundations of who they are as a person, the very fabric of what makes them, their values, their intrinsic values as a person, who they are at the core, what do they desire in life, their dreams, their goals, and ambitions. That is the type of person you should look at for where they are at currently, but not who they are going to be in the future. So it sounds like on the reverse end, that's what she did. She looked at him and was like, he has the potential to exercise and go to the gym and become a certain type of aesthetic that she had in her mind for him. She had a type of certain vision for who he was going to be if he got a car, if he went to back to school, if he got a specific degree. She had all of this in her mind for who he could have been potentially. That is the number one biggest mistake that anyone can ever make when getting married, is you are trying to be with someone who is going, and you are trying to make them into something rather than accepting them for where they are at right now. Improving is good. There's nothing wrong with suggesting and advising that, hey, maybe we should exercise together. Why don't we maybe seriously consider school again? What if we leveled up our career and went back and got a degree or something like that? These are like reasonable suggestions, but they should not be expectations. That's the difference. Because when you have that expectation, then the entire marriage and the entire relationship is juxtaposed completely around this centrifugal desire to have this goal achieved. And if it isn't achieved, the entire marriage falls apart. So anyway, rant over, but that's, yeah, like I said, there's not a lot of things I'm super intelligent or knowledgeable of, but this type of thing, I know a thing or two.
I was a jobber, sold all my stuff. Tried to go back to school multiple times. There's some, I don't want to say that I can't finish school, but it certainly feels like I can't.
Bro, how do you just go to school and then go back and then quit and then go back in America?
I talk to people,
that's like hundreds of thousands of debt, right? Like, how do you do that in America?
Excuse. You are a grown man. You are an adult. You can do it. It's like no one can see it from my perspective. It's like I am always wrong. When I study, what do? I fall asleep. What do they say? Hey, you're lazy. You're procrastinating. You're choosing not to do this. And I'm like, that's got to be something wrong with me. When it comes to school, studying, and staying on task and staying focused, I just can't do it. And I try, and I go back to school, and I pay.
I think like expecting someone to go to school and get a degree so that you can essentially get them to make you more money long term is a very strange thing to do, especially coming from, or especially expecting that from a person who clearly doesn't seem to be very academically inclined. Everyone has skills in life. Everyone is good at some things. Everyone is bad at some things. You can't really judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. You can't really judge a monkey by its ability to swim. Actually, can monkeys swim? Wait, they might actually be able to, but probably not as well as a fish. So everyone has skills. Everyone is good at some things. Everyone's bad at some things. Expecting your, your partner to do a certain thing when they just like that's just not something that they have that kind of talent for. Now, everyone can work hard. Everyone can do anything that they really set their mind to. But ultimately, it sounds like he kind of doesn't really even want to in the first place. You can't expect to succeed at something if it's something that's, number one, difficult for you, something you're not that naturally talented at, and it's something you don't even really want, you know? So it's a very strange expectation that was put upon him. All right, when do we get to the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff? Like, when are we going to be told, like, hey, you play Shifter in your deck? Divorced.
Pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money. And I fail, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail.
Damn, that sucks.
Music has always been there for me, and I've always been great at it. People say that, hey, they try to test me. They say, hey, you know music, right? You know this person? No. Do you know this person? No. You know this person? No. Well, how are you a musician? I also get people say to me, hey, what key is this in? I say, I don't know. Like, well, they say, well, how are you playing? How are you a musician? How do you play so well? I am not the type of person who is.
I didn't even notice that sign in the background, by the way.
Or knowledgeable. I don't know things, but I know how to do things. I know how to do things physically in a creative way. I'm not a type of person who retains things and holds things. You can read a book and then take a test, pass it, and go on. That's not me. I am a creative-minded person. Anything that involves creativity, I can do, at least to some degree, where people are like, wow, you do it so well.
Man was punished for ADD.
I tried. It doesn't work. So this is all tying together. I met the parents. They asked me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My ex-wife parents did not speak to me for 2 years and told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree. What sense does that make? So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneur things. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody to prove something. And this continues on through the marriage.
Yeah, this sounds like
She
a
said, hey,
real
you need to
doomed
find
to
a
fail
hobby.
from the beginning type
I'm like,
of thing.
oh, let me play Yu-Gi-Oh again. So last December, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby. You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. It's either the cards or me. She literally said that. Like, you just said, I need a hobby. I get into a
It's
hobby.
the
and now you're
cards
saying,
or me.
what is it? What do I do? She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something. And I haven't played this card game for 2 years, on and off. How can I make a video for my subscribers about something I have no knowledge of? And I try to explain
Wait, hold on.
Did she
Wait, I need to hear that. Did she tell him to do YouTube but for a different subject?
a video about something? And I haven't played this. Like, you just said I need a hobby, I get into a hobby, and now you said I'm doing it too much. What is it? What do I do? She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something. And I haven't played this card game for 2 years, on and off. How can I make a video for my subscribers about something I have no knowledge of? And I try to explain it.
MBT when he makes tier lists. How can I make a video on a subject with I don't have any knowledge of? Average MBT tier list.
To her, but she don't get it. She thinks it's just cards you pick up and you just play like Uno. It's not that way. Every 3 months, a new stuff come out. I can't make a video about something if I don't know what it's about. I can't start my channel back up and just start making videos. I have to be in it. I have to learn about it and learn what's going on. So she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man. It's your wife, or, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I'm sitting there watching all these YouTubers come out and make videos and do all this stuff. They're traveling. I'm like, that's what I used to do. I love that. I miss that. Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me. It's not about...
I mean, if you enjoy what you do, and it's making money, and it's providing, what more can you want? What more could you possibly want, right? I don't know. I find it hard to really understand someone like that. It really is just a case of she kind of wanted a specific image of who this person should be, and they weren't happy that they weren't adhering to that image that they had in their mind of who this person should be. They're just two very different people. It's not like, I don't want to say it's like wrong or bad of her, but you shouldn't be with someone who you clearly just don't have that connection with. Like, they just, water and oil, they just are not for each other.
About the money, but that was money gone.
Maybe she wanted a Tate-style boyfriend.
Super for me. I said to her, hey, I don't want to move away from...
She tried to fix him.
I'm thinking, wow, that's where my home base
Depends
is.
what deck he was
my
playing.
Gigs,
He
my
might need
performances,
fixing.
Everything. Keep in mind, I didn't have a job. Like, when I say I don't have a job, like a real job. A real job is, you know, going in 9 to 5. I didn't have a real job for over 10 years. It was YouTube and playing my horn. That's how I paid all my bills. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bills? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9 to 5 job. I don't make enough from this 9 to 5 job to pay all these bills. Before then, I could street performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9 to 5 all day long, and that's not a complaint, because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had. Most people wish they can go out, make some money, pay their bills, and have all day off. That was a gift. That was something that I had. Now, you can take this video of me complaining, crying.
You were paying the bills, doing something you loved, and you gave it up? Actual witchcraft, dude. What did this person do to you? You were providing. You were paying the bills, doing something you enjoyed, and you gave it up for a 9 to 5 that barely even, like, scratched that? That's crazy. Man. I don't know. I guess you just don't really know the situation, but I guess when you're in love, you just don't think rationally.
I messed up. It is all of that. It is true. I am complaining. I am hurt. I made some mistakes. I did some dumb things. And you're right. It is my fault. I chose to sell my channel. I chose to give up the thing, not realizing, you know what? This is my YouTube channel. This is my life. You can't come into my life and dictate to me and tell me what's better for me because you don't see it from my perspective. And then get mad at me.
I don't think she likes him at any point in the relationship. Yeah.
That I can't do what you think I should do. I've never been that way. It's like you're trying to tell me to
There's a lot of people who get into a relationship, they're just trying to like mother or father their partner.
You're trying to tell me to do something that I
You're not looking for a partner, you're looking for like a project. It's like, this is weird.
So I'm moving out. In 2 weeks I'll be moving out. I'll have my own place again. I'm starting my life over. And you guys know I couldn't make videos when she's in the house. The only time I can make YouTube videos is when she's gone. And you might be thinking, oh, why is that?
All right, this is turning into a bit of a bitter rant now.
You're too loud. Hey, I'm trying to read. I'm like, wait, what? I gotta talk. I gotta make a video. I'm disturbing her. And yes, I'm venting and I'm ranting. If you stayed this long, thank you. If you didn't, it's okay. But I need to get this off my chest because it was brewing. I am deeply hurt. And I hurt myself. I don't blame her at all.
Realizing you're in a toxic relationship is pretty hard.
It's because I wanted to do it. I wanted to make someone happy. I thought I can be that person for someone else, and I thought I can do it. I thought I can get away from YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh! And street performing. I thought I could go back to school and pass and get a real job and make some good money to pay all my bills. I thought I could be that man who could do those things.
Yeah. Well, all the best, dude. Good luck.
I have special gifts.
Thoughts on 50-50 in relationships? I don't believe in equality in relationships. Hot take, I believe in equity in relationships. If you make 100K and your girl makes 20K, you should not be splitting 50-50 on the bills. You should be carrying like 80-20. Like that's you know what I mean? Like that's equality is 50-50 there. Equity is carrying the weight that you are strong enough to carry. Right? Do you know what I mean? So I do not think that that's how that should be played out. I'm a little older, so I still have like somewhat of a, trad mindset in some ways, but personally, like I always envisioned myself being 100-0 anyway, so it's not a problem for me. I've always seen myself as being someone who wants to be the provisioner regardless. So but if I was to like hypothetically start a relationship, straight out of the God, imagine dating in your 30s sounds horrible, but this day and age, I don't know, I'd probably start out 50-50 relationship wise, and then when you commit to marriage, I think it really is equity rather than equality.
To be able to pay and make money and do things in ways people wish they could. It's ironic, isn't it?
Could you be a trad
it's
wife?
Ironic
Yes.
That I wish that I can go to school.
Can you imagine me as a cat girl baking you cookies?
It's ironic. That
Don't imagine that.
Hate to do. They hate to go in and live a mundane life. They hate that. And they want to. They want to have their own business. They want to make their own money. They want to have their free time. I had that. Literally, I would work 3 hours a day, and have enough at the end of the month to pay all my bills and do whatever I need and travel. But that wasn't good enough for the person I was with. It wasn't secured enough. What if you didn't make enough? Was the question. What about medical bills? What about this? What about that? What about retirement? What about all the stuff?
I feel like this is like, not tangentially going into other directions here that I'm sure people don't want to hear the rants about. But like, I feel like a lot of this is also exposing just so much of the nature of living in America, really. Like the cost of living, bills and stuff like that, healthcare. Like these are really, really serious things that you really need to think about. And basic jobs don't even cover that in America. Like basic jobs. So this like complaint about like, you need to go get a real job, quote unquote. It's like, bro, you go get a real job if you don't have a degree. Unless you got stuck in early or you got a little bit lucky with the career ladder and stuff, like, or you work in a good trade or you have like a very specific like manual labor type of skill, it's hard. It's difficult work. And it's
Could you say, here are your cookies, Daddy you woo for no particular reason?
what the fuck? Thank you. I didn't even see that. Like, I can't see. Like, was that a dono? I can't even, like. Oh my god. Happy Thanksgiving. That's my Thanksgiving gift. What was that? 420 Arctic.
So-
Thank you, dude.
I truly
Could you say here are your cookies, Daddy Uwu, for no particular reason?
Here are your cookies, Daddy. Ooh.
Sorry.
want to do YouTube.
All right, let's conclude this.
Not for a living. Yes, money comes along with it. And yes, my channel is dead. But I'll do it as a hobby because I like doing it and I can't give it up. I've made a video about not giving up before. I said I would never give up. I just can't. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I enjoy being with my friends and doing those things. Even at this age, even 15 years later. I'm done.
When are you going to address the allegations? You're being stinky.
I will. I'm stuttering.
Dude.
If you guys did not know, I have a speech impediment.
I just don't shower daily, you know? What do you
Some of
want me
you
to
guys
say?
say, why you stutter? Why you sound like Bill Cosby? I have a speech impediment. I never told you guys that. Just realized that. Wow. All right. I'm gone.
All right. Well, yeah, that was a really sad video in some respects, wasn't it? You know? But yeah, 100%. Like, again, I'm just going to reiterate one last time. The biggest, easiest, simplest takeaway that I can give you as advice as human beings, as men, is understanding that you need to be with people who see you for who you are, but not who you can be. That's like, if you get project, you're only going to be set up for failure, and you will be living in a way where everything you do isn't good enough unless it meets that exact goal or expectation.